Petrochemical available capacity dropped at the end of the week, but expect a recovery. The Petrochemical Weekly Update starts now. You may have heard the term energy transition and maybe thought, what does this mean for petrochemicals? Before I talk about that, let's talk about what an energy transition really means. According to Wikipedia, an energy transition is a significant structural change in an energy system. For example, pre-industrial humans relied on energy sources like the sun, biomass, and even muscle power. An energy transition occurred during the Industrial Revolution when coal was used to create steam. Today we think about the energy transition to renewable energy, sustainable energy, and reduced carbon emissions. And speaking of reduced carbon emissions, last year the World Economic Forum addressed how the petrochemical industry can reduce its carbon footprint. The authors reached the following conclusions. The chemical building blocks derived from petrochemicals continue to play a crucial role in our society. The article notes that the petrochemical industry is the third largest emitting industry behind the iron and steel and cement industries. Syngas production contributes significantly to petrochemical CO2 emissions. In fact, syngas accounts for 1.5 gigatons, or 18% of all industrial carbon dioxide emissions. Syngas is a mixture of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide, and it's used to make a variety of chemical building blocks, such as ammonia and methanol. The technology exists to significantly reduce CO2 emissions at scale and help the industry on its road to net zero, basically moving from steam methane reforming technology to advanced reforming technologies like autothermal reforming. During Investor Day last year, Dow CEO Jim Fitterling announced plans to take their entire Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, Canada facility to net zero carbon emissions, while at the same time tripling ethylene and downstream capacity. They plan to build a new cracker and autothermal reformer to take off gas from their existing and new crackers and convert to hydrogen, which will be fuel for their crackers, and they will capture the remaining carbon. If you have been watching my blogs, you've heard me talk about converting waste plastics to petrochemical feedstocks by pyrolysis and clean hydrogen, and today about energy transition and carbon capture. But you may still be wondering, what does energy transition mean for petrochemicals? If you are, then the PetChem Global Market Intel Advisory, delivered by the Petrochemical Strategies Expert Network and supported by IIR Energy and powered by i2 Enabled, can help. If you have questions and want answers, ask me. You can reach out to me directly through my website, petrochemicalstrategies.com, or to the IIR Energy team by email at iirteam@iirenergy.com. Both addresses are shown on your screen. Let's look at global petrochemical available capacity over the past week and what we can expect by the end of this week. Here you see the PCGMI Start of Day dashboard for petrochemicals on January 21st, 2022. Using this information with our knowledge of maintenance events and outages, we can determine global available capacity for petrochemical production. Last week we saw an outage at the Jubail Chemical Complex in Saudi Arabia and reduced available capacity at the Ichihara Chemical and Chiba complexes, both in Japan. Also last week, I reported that BASF Antwerp was expected to be down by the end of the week. However, they confirmed after the blog was posted that its planned furnace maintenance was rescheduled until March 2022. In North America, we saw reductions in available capacity at CP Chem in Cedar Bayou and Formosa in Point Comfort, who started a 60-day turnaround at its Olefins 3 ethylene unit. By the end of this week, 3 petrochemical complexes are expected to restart in Kuwait, China, and Iran, as well as capacity gains in complexes in China and India, resulting in a gain of over 20 million pounds per day of available petrochemical capacity in the Asian region. In Europe, available capacity increased at the Dow Terneuzen Petrochemical Complex in the Netherlands, which started a major ethylene unit turnaround last September. Let's look at headlines in the news. Global electric demand rose 6% in 2021, and broader use of coal drove up carbon dioxide emissions by nearly 7%, according to the semi-annual Global Electric Market Report prepared by the International Energy Agency released last Friday. Last year's increased usage stemmed from global economic recovery and more extreme weather, the agency said. In absolute terms, 2021's demand growth of more than 1,500 terawatt hours was the largest in history. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, happy news may be on the way for drivers. After a slight price bump in both gasoline and diesel this year, prices are expected to come down in 2023. And finally in the news, ExxonMobil Chemical has delayed a 45-day turnaround at its 2.6 billion pound per year ethylene unit in Baytown, Texas. The turnaround is now expected to begin in January 2023. Thank you for watching the Petrochemical Weekly Update. If you have any questions about anything you saw here today, just ask me. My name is Robert Sawchuk, and I will see you next time.